All right, welcome everyone to our 10th anniversary celebration. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping notes. Today's celebration is scheduled to be 1 hour, and we will go over time for those who'd like to stick around and chat and network. We do encourage you to keep your webcams on for a more interactive experience. You will be invited later to open your mics before the conclusion of our program. And if you have any questions or technical issues, please chat to Brenna McCann.
Okay.
MERA fosters a respectful, diverse, and collaborative community. We are stronger together because we promote inclusion in all aspects of our industry. Please join us today by embracing and honoring this commitment. Brenna? Brenna, you may be muted.
I thought I was unmuted, sorry. Hi, I'm Brenna McCann, and for those of you who don't know me, I lead MERA's membership and sponsorship efforts. As we get started, I wanted to take a minute to say, to recognize our sponsors this year for sponsoring not only today's event, but all events this year. Cummins is our first diamond sponsor of the year. We also have Rebuilders Auto Supply, BBB, Naval, Phoenix Automotive Cores, LKQ, and Diesel Forward and Transaxle. As you see, there's still room on the slide for the next event if you want to sponsor. I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate your support. Thank you. John.
Thanks, Brenna. Thanks, Cheryl, and welcome everyone. I'm so excited about today. We've really been looking forward to this, and it's great to see all of you. And I, for one, really look forward to the next hour as we celebrate 10 years of MERA. But more importantly, what I'm really happy about is I get a chance to thank you for your role in all this and for your dedication to the remanufacturing community. So let's get started. Our purpose today is to connect and reconnect, to thank and to celebrate, and to reminisce and to look forward. Our agenda includes recognizing 2 inaugural board members for 10 years of service, recognize a member for leadership in the community, hearing from our current and past chairs as they reminisce and look forward, and hearing from you. In MERA fashion, we are going to open the mic, and we really look forward to you adding to the discussion. And at 5 o'clock, we'll raise a glass and we'll toast, and we'll keep the cameras and mics open. So with that, we have a lot to cover, and we're going to begin with a video. And I only wish that we had more time to pull more pictures of more events that we've been to and more sports arenas and all the smiling faces and to include everyone that's with us today. I just want to say thanks. To see 10 minutes go by in 5 minutes, wow, lots of great memories. So with that, next, I'd like to recognize two of our inaugural board members, Selwyn Jaffe and Paul Shuck, for 10 years of service. And Selwyn, I'd like to start with you. I'm looking for you on my camera. There we go. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to say a few words. But Selwyn, I remember like it was yesterday. Michael Cardone told me that I needed to call Selwyn Jaffe and get him as a member and have him ask him to serve on our board. We met for the first time in February 2011 at our inaugural board dinner and meeting. And I remember you and I had a chance to get to know each other a little bit better in the rides to and from the hotel. And over the years, you and your team have supported MERA from being our longtime advertising partner and participating in the creation of both editions of the core accounting paper to hosting an executive council meeting in beautiful Southern California and truly helping to put the finishing touch on our certification mark. Selwyn, on behalf of all members, I thank you for your time, your service, and your commitment to the remanufacturing industry. Selwyn.
Let me try and get unmuted. Great. First of all, great video and really great to see all those memories and great to see everybody's photos and video feeds on the Zoom. A lot of friends and acquaintances and really great to see everyone. For me, and I'm sure for most of us, it's I'm a little cold turkey on seeing people. It's I love to be with people and just being, virtual is better than nothing. And so I thank everybody for that. Also good to see some of our team members on the call. And I must say, I remember that original cocktail party and that first meeting like it was yesterday, even though I see sideburns and hair with a little bit of color that I don't even remember from those days, but I do remember the cocktail party. So haven't had a haircut in a while, and certainly I'm happy to have hair, but it's a lot, I think thanks to the remanufacturing industry, it's accelerated it going gray. So as I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to, not the easiest business in the world. And so I just want to start out firstly by, saying, first of all, to Michael Cardone Jr. and you, John, this organization owes it all to you guys. You've done the most incredible job. It was tough in the beginning, negative cash flows, not being accepted, being forced to join with someone, opting out of joining with different organizations. I think today it's fabulous that the MERA message can be heard, the association with MEMA and the whole industry. And really, you look back 10 years and, it's incredible what the group has accomplished. I think remanufacturing itself stands for a lot. It's a little more than just a business, in my opinion, or a lot more than just a business. First of all, the Remanufactured Again initiative, I'm very proud of. I think the group did an amazing job. I think we should even push it more. And it's important in a couple of ways. And I think it's more than just our industry, which first of all, I'll talk about in our contribution to the clean footprint and, zero carbon emissions. And I think that, the remanufacturing, while I remember it being scoffed at as, oh, that's not, mechanics can't relate to that, or real men can't relate to, zero carbon footprint, and who needs to say it's remanufactured for carbon? It's just, that's an embarrassment. And I would say today that, we and you and the organization have changed that a lot. I think it's something to be proud of. I think that it translates through many sectors of our population, and certainly a big part of our consumer audience. And if you look today, I mean, almost every automotive company is looking at zero carbon footprint initiatives, and it's now become, almost gone to the extreme. And so, I'm proud to be a remanufacturer. I'm proud of what we do for the economy. I'm proud of what we're able to do for the consumer at the end of the day by providing them what I feel is superior product through the remanufactured process than inexpensive, cheap knockoffs that perhaps could be called new. While there are some quality new products, I think the reman plays a critical part. And I'm then going to switch to a little bit of politics, even though I'm very apolitical and don't like politics at all. But if you look at where we are in our trade relationships, the U.S. has an opportunity to be.
Someone, may I just for a moment, and I really don't mean to interrupt you. And we'll have a little more time at the end, if that's okay. But I just we've got a few more things that we're going to cover, and we can take it from there. Does that sound good with you?
That's fine. I just quickly, the U.S. has a chance to be a remanufacturing participant and a big player in the world economy. So let's stick with it. Thank you, everybody.
You got it. And again, thank you for all that you've done. Thanks for the introduction to Jamie Schwartzman. I know you mentioned our first cocktail party with special guest Neil DeCoker, and we'll cover a few more of those things as we go. But what I'd like to do just to keep us going, because we are only 60 minutes scheduled today, I'd like to recognize Paul Schuck next. And Paul, I will always remember you being one of my first go-to guys. You and in fact, I'll mention George Zoflik. Shout out to George. Right from the beginning, you always made yourself available for a call or a project. You helped develop the basis for our proposed remanufacturing standard in 2012, and you were instrumental when it transitioned to our certification program today. And you still serve on our verification committee for the certification mark. You two hosted a MERA Executive Council meeting in Cleveland. And I just have to add, I'll never forget our impromptu stop by a car auction, a visit to a car auction, following an event with Mike Pence Vice President Pence in suburban Detroit. So Paul, thanks for your time, your service, and your dedication to the remanufacturing community.
Well, hi, everyone. It's great to see everyone. And I'm so proud to be part of this MERA family from the beginning. I look forward to the next 10 years.
And thanks for flying the flag behind you today. I see that with a big smile on your face. And again, all your dedication to the association and to the program. Very thankful. Thank you, Paul.
And thank you, Paul. I apologize for taking up all your time.
Oh, no, well said, Selwyn, no problem.
No worries, Selwyn. So moving on, I'd like to recognize the spirit of MERA members, remanufacturers and their suppliers, the art and the science, the ingenuity, and the caring. Last year was more than challenging for many. When the pandemic hit, businesses were closing and people were suffering and losing loved ones. Mike Kitching and GB Remanufacturing stepped up. They took a leadership position and made a lasting impression. And let's take a look. Cheryl, please.
That company usually builds components for gas and diesel engines, but when it found out Long Beach Memorial needed a special part for a ventilator, it got busy finding a way. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda shows us how they did it.
It looks like a simple piece made of PVC, but this could save lives.
This is one part that we could really use right now.
Michael Kitching is the president of GB Remanufacturing in Long Beach. The company normally works with fuel injectors, but it wanted to help during this coronavirus crisis. It reached out to Long Beach Memorial Hospital, which told the company it needed a unique part for a ventilator.
The manufacturer came out with a way to convert a normal respirator into one of these pressure-controlled respirators, but it needed special fittings. And they did this under an Emergency Use Act, which meant that They didn't have all the pieces to do it, but they allowed people to print the parts.
The company thought of 3D printing, but doing it that way, each part could take about 24 hours to manufacture and would be single use only.
When you're 3D printing, it takes a long time because you're adding layers. So we wanted to be able to rapidly manufacture this. So we went with CNC machining. It also brought the cost of the part down significantly.
They started from scratch and designed the part so it could be machined quickly. They were given to the hospital for testing, and they worked. And they can be cleaned and reused. The company made several dozen and donated them to the hospital to help the community.
It was great. We delivered the parts a couple of days ago, and a couple of people joined at the meeting, and they were so thankful just to have these parts and be able to treat their patients.
And the company says this could be just the beginning. They're willing to work with other hospitals to try to work on other parts to help the community.
Mike, for your passion, teamwork, and excellence, and for your model representation of the remanufacturing community, your fellow MERA members recognize you with the 2020 Michael Cardone Leadership Award.
Wow.
In 2017, MERA announced the formation of the Michael Cardone Leadership Award in honor of 3 generations in the Cardone family. In 1970, Michael Jr. co-founded Cardone Industries with his late father, Michael Cardone Sr. And Michael III later joined and led the family business. Michael Jr. is our founding chairman, and Michael III currently serves on the MERA board. I now invite Michael Jr. and Michael III to join me in congratulating you, Mike Kitching, on this well-deserved recognition. Michael?
Which Michael?
We'll go either one. There we go.
Unmuting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Michael.
I know.
Mike, on behalf of the entire global remanufacturing industry, congratulations. This award recognizes the individuals and companies that have elevated the recognition, visibility, and acceptance of the remanufacturing industry in the global economy and the global supply chain. It takes a leader with a passion for excellence and a great team. So we also congratulate your team at GB Remanufacturing for what you've done together for our industry, especially during the pandemic.
Thanks, Michael. And Michael III?
Michael, amazing. I think that video really encapsulates, what we have to do as remanufacturers and the creativity and the reliance on our amazing people that we find on a regular basis. We're a people business. We're not a machine business. And yes, we do have machines, but in the end, we have amazing people that do amazing things day in and day out. And that takes great leadership. So thank you. You really embody what remanufacturing stands for, and we're excited to have you as receive this award today.
Oh, first of all, thank you very much. Boy, sort of a little bit blown away there. Excuse me there for a second, but boy, coming from you two, definitely pioneers in the remanufacturing industry. Couldn't mean more. So I just feel very blessed. We were given a great opportunity to help. And we did. So you can tell how much this means. So thank you.
Thank you. You really embodied what the remanufacturing community is about. You and your team did great things, and congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Sorry about the emotions, but
no. We'll be sending the award. The award is in our hands, and we'll be sending that to you. And with that said, I'd like to recognize the 3 past recipients of the Leadership Award, and 2 of these individuals are with us today. Byron Schneidman, hello, our 2019 recipient, and Woody Knopf from 2018. So great company. Thanks for all that you do. Next, Cheryl will show us another video. Five outstanding chairmen, more than 40 MERA directors, including 3 MEMA CEOs. And I just want to thank all of you for your dedication, your time, and your support. And moving on, I'd like to invite Michael Cardone Jr. to open his mic again to join me. Michael, this was your vision. Some have called it your baby. And I'm going to tee things up for you for a discussion. You were the MEMA chairman in 2005 and 2006. In 2010, you and Bob McKenna hosted planning meetings at the Westin at the Detroit Metro Airport. And the official announcement of MERA came at Apex in 2010. Quickly, after that, MERA launched in January of 2011. We've already talked about the inaugural board meeting and dinner. And later that year, with the help of Ann Wilson and team, we hosted a remanufacturing legislative summit with RIC in Washington, D.C. And in 2012, and I know you and I hold this very dear, we welcomed three core suppliers to our board: Jerry Bowles, Jack Bowser, and Woody Knopf. And we worked with AASA and AutoCare to create the remanufacturing section at Apex. Michael, please.
Well, the real work was really done before that initial meeting, and I think it was more than just a coincidence. First of all, I don't know how I ever got to be MEMA chairman. I served on the board for several years, and Bob McKenna came on, and I think it really is because of Bob's understanding of the magnitude of remanufacturing coming from Napa. Remanufacturing was always buried in other product lines like fuel systems, undercar, air conditioning, et cetera. Bob had a real understanding of the impact that remanufacturing had at Napa. And of course, he and I had many discussions, and the recognition of remanufacturing, I think, was helped by becoming chairman, and had a little bit of influence with developing the concept. And Bob knows very well the battle was really trying to make the remanufacturing a council but with Bob's perseverance and resilience and some motivation, I guess from me, we became a segment equal to OESA, ASA, and HDMA. And John, you came on with a vision for this, and you provided the energy to take the vision and make it a reality. So thank you, John, for your leadership. And Bob, thank you for your confidence and understanding and compassion and passion for the remanufacturing industry.
Thank you, Michael. Bob, if you wanted to open your mic and say anything, you're welcome to do so. I thank both of you guys for making this happen. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. When you get retired, you lose a lot of technology abilities. This is just really great to see so many people that I've known for so many years, and of course the great job that John, you and I would have to say all these different directors and chairman of the MERA. And Michael's right. Michael had the vision, and I knew from my experience at Napa, from running the parts business there, 25% of our business was reman. I mean, it was the most important product lines we had. So it took a while to create, convince some of the OESA guys and the whole industry, but it was by far the right thing to do. And it's just so great to see the way MERA has developed and the leadership that has come out of the industry, which is really what makes any trade association work. And John, you've been a bulldog from the beginning, and all the things we went through back in the early years, as does Michael. And I just want to congratulate all you and the winners of the Cardone Award each year. And it's just gratifying to see this, and I appreciate it. And no, there's nothing but great things ahead of it for you guys.
Well, thanks, Bob. And the vision, you and Michael, and I'll say that Michael's passion is certainly contagious. And some 7 a.m. meetings on Saturday, Michael, and I'll say the rest is history. So thanks both of you for taking us through the real early days. And with that, Michael, stay with me for a moment because I want to talk about our next chair, Sean Zwicker. And actually, I'll have you come back in a moment. But Sean cannot be with us today, but we do have a video, and Cheryl's going to play that for us right now.
They saw the vision and took hold of it and joined the party. And I think the three-legged stool is the success of MERA today.
Well, I think it was a game changer, Michael. I remember when the 3 individuals we just named joined our board, and the strength of MERA today because of the participation of core suppliers and remanufacturers. And we always wanted it to be large and small, OE and independent, and that's where we are today. But Sean, I want to take us back to beginning of 2013, actually the beginning of 2014, I guess I should say. And you and I made a road trip. We went to Key Largo. And I know had a chance to meet with Michael, and he officially handed over the baton.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you, John. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to address my MERA friends and colleagues. I am in a different business unit now within Cummins. I'm running in a global supply chain role. I sometimes wonder, what on earth did I do wrong to life to be in a global supply chain role in the midst of a pandemic, but such as it is. But yes, I do remember the road trip to Key Largo very, very well. And, didn't know an awful lot about MERA at the time, but I met with you and John, and I was really impressed with the passion that you guys showed trying to do the right thing for the entire remanufacturing industry, right? Not OE, not aftermarket, not core, but everybody working together, and find the common ground on things that we can do to advance the remanufacturing industry overall. And so, I was so impressed with that. that we could actually figure out a way to kind of make that work and show balance and represent everybody's interests, that I agreed to sign on as chairman. And the way I kind of envision it, this was Michael's baby, and he had enough faith in me to let me raise it through its toddler years, and hand it off to further capable leadership, which I've witnessed. And, here we are at the 10-year anniversary of MERA, and in a lot of ways, it seems like yesterday. So thank you. Well, I've often told people, while I'm in a different business unit now, I think all of you will attest that remanufacturing never really leaves your heart and soul. I tell people, even now that I am in a different business and a different industry, the coolest job I ever had was when I was involved in manufacturing. And I mean that sincerely. There's nothing cooler than taking old, worn out things, applying the science and art and only we know how to do, and making things new again. There's nothing cooler than that. So thanks to all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. And thanks for your time today. I know you're going to miss seeing the gang next week, but they're all going to see this. And again, thanks for all that you do and all that you've done for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Michael, stay with me for a moment. And in Sean's words, the further capable leadership, I'm going to ask Peter Butterfield, Dave Overbeek, and Justin Greenberg to open their mics, because I would just like to say a few words to recognize them. I'm going to start with you, Peter. In 2016 and 2017, you were MERA chairman, and key moments during your tenure. We published the first edition of the MERA core accounting paper with our partner RSM. We released an international industry definition of remanufacturing in collaboration with 5 other organizations, including APRA, and we launched Manufactured Again certification. And Peter, I know this was a pet project for you. And as we like to say, it's where manufacturing and remanufacturing are held to the same international quality standards. Peter.
Thank you, John. As with everyone else, this wouldn't have happened, Michael, without your vision, and John, without your perseverance. There's no question about it. During my tenure as chairman, Sean had done a great job getting the organization, taking it from Michael and moving it forward. I felt that at the time, there was a lot of effort being spent at the time, John. If you recall, we had a one-day planning session at my cottage in Michigan to talk about what needed to happen. And in those conversations, there was a lot of effort being put forth with both APRA and RIC at the time. And what's our relationship with them? And do we partner with them? Do we merge with them? Do we work with them? How do we work with them? Are they on the same page as we are or not? And we had, after that meeting in Michigan, went out and met with APRA and spent a lot of time with RIC too, to try and determine, because I thought that we needed to get that off the plate. There was too much focus being spent and not enough focus being spent on the remanufacturing efforts and all the things that the hard work that everybody is doing. So we did get that behind us. Ultimately made a decision to not collaborate with APRA or merge, as well as RIC. The next thing we saw as the biggest opportunity was to get remanufactured, begin the process of branding and separating rebuild from remanufacturing, which has also been a lifelong issue with anybody in the reman world. We talked about advertising, direct advertising, marketing, a lot of different aspects, and then finally landed on the certification program, Manufactured Again, which at the time we said would be the beginning of a 10, 15, 20, 30-year effort to brand remanufacturing and differentiate it from rebuilding. And I think the program today, after 4.5 years in the market, has been successful and continues to grow, and I think it will continue to grow. It's a long path, and I think we're well underway right now. So thank you, John, for you and everybody else's support. This organization certainly wouldn't be where it is today without your efforts.
Well, thanks, Peter. And I still remember your first board meeting in 2012 and all the great things that we did together and continue to do together and your continued service. So wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for your leadership. Michael, I think we'll move to, we'll keep going, and we're going to ask Dave Overbeek to join us. 2018, 2019, and 2020, Dave. And just a few things, I'll set the table. Speaking of what Peter was just talking about with marketing, we changed our brand descriptor to the Association for Sustainable Manufacturing. We published the second edition of the core accounting paper based on member interest, again, with our partner RSM. We developed marketing programs for Manufactured Again. And Dave, I want to thank you for your personal work with NAPA to get the mark on the box. And lastly, and not to be overlooked at all while transitioning to virtual delivery during the pandemic, we initiated a core working group and the Women in Remanufacturing Network. Dave, please.
Well, John, it's been a fun 10 years, that's for sure. Michael, it's great to see you. I hope everything's going well there in Florida. You look great. John, listen, I don't really have a lot to add from what everyone else said, but I really do value the friendship the team has. I mean, it really is a fun team. And to see the continuity that we've had and all the support. But at the end of the day, it comes down to somebody who is kind of that glue that kept all us crazy entrepreneurs together. And that was you. And really hats off to the perseverance. Because I mean, everything has to have an igniting switch. That was Michael. But, you know, to keep the fire burning, because there's days when the rains came and we know them, well, with competition in the industry, with branding ourselves, with getting certifications and all the conflicts, the number of calls is just overwhelming. And the one thing that I will say, John, is you obviously had the passion because you always kept a level head. You looked at it from a win-win all the time. I mean, at times, and I can get excited, as you know, right? And boy, you just kept it together. And for that, it was an honor to be a part of the organization and so forth. So it's great to see where it's come in 10 years. So well done.
Thank you, Dave. And I'll echo, and this is, you know, for you personally and for so many on the call today, it started as business, and the friendships that have been formed have just been outstanding. And
even though you're an Islanders fan, I can overlook it. The fact that you love hockey at least gives me some credence of, you know, calling you once in a while.
And I have a good French Canadian name too, right? So.
Oh yeah, and the Habs are really one of my specialties.
We'll talk about hockey later, but thanks, Dave. And I mean, you two were with us from the start in that original picture, and we're not letting you go yet because you are our most recent chairman. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to move on to Justin Greenberg. Justin, I know you just received the baton or the torch from Dave, but so far this year, under your watch, we've launched a new council, our Technology and Operations Council. What I want to ask you is what's on the horizon? Because I know you're committed to a strong remanufacturing community, and we're here to elevate and mainstream remanufacturing and other forms of sustainable manufacturing. Justin, please.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, what an honor to be sitting here, and I'm very appreciative of it. I'm appreciative to be the first chair to represent the core side of the remanufacturing world here, and so I'm very honored to do that. I know it's an important part of the industry, but as you said, we've already launched the Technology and Operations Council, and we're in kind of a crazy period. You know, all of us are facing these different supply chain issues right now, and I think that we're going to continue to explore some of that, John. And who knows, there could be some more advancements in that. We all put our heads together, and I think we're going to continue to push a very strong Remanufactured Again program, and I'm excited to see what the next couple years looks like with that. Overall, I'm very excited about the industry, and so thanks for your leadership, Michael. It's great to see you, and happy to see you're doing well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. And Michael, I'm going to go back to a comment that we made earlier about the importance of inviting core suppliers to be on our board and the balance that we always sought. And I know you mentioned the three-legged stool before, which is OE remanufacturers, independent remanufacturers, and core suppliers, and the large and small, and the auto and the commercial vehicle. We've really sought to have balance in our membership, bring that to the board level, and also in the leadership of the board. So Justin, well-deserved. Thanks for taking us through 21 and beyond.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
But before you go, Justin, I'm going to ask you to stay for a moment. I'd like you to help me to recognize Dave Overbeek for serving as MERA chairman for the last 3 years. And Dave, we'll have a chance to formally thank you at our next board meeting, which is on Earth Day, April 22nd. But we weren't going to let today go by without giving you a special thanks. And just wanted to say something now. So Justin, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, Dave, what shoes to try to fill? Oh my gosh, you're a you know, one of the things I've always looked up to you about is you're a staunch advocate of the industry. You're willing to put in whatever time it takes. You know, you've obviously been the head of several different large and growing remanufacturing companies, and I'm very thankful to be walking in your shadow, and I think you've done an incredible job for the entire organization and industry, and I'm anxious to use you as a sounding board going forward. So thanks for all your commitment and hard work, and we really appreciate you.
Well, thanks for that. Just, you know, it's only 2 months, so you'll dig up all the dirt probably in another 2 or 3. You know, hopefully you'll say the same at the end of your tenure. So, listen, we're here to help. You know, even Peter, who looked, I swear to God, Peter, you looked like you were in your 20s in that picture in the video. So even Peter will help you out.
That's because it was an old picture, Dave. I will say, looking at those videos, everybody looked a lot younger than they do right now.
No kidding. No kidding. But you look good. I got to tell you, it looked like it was GQ. That was impressive.
All right, guys, I'm laughing so hard my cheeks are hurting. Come on.
But I guess, Justin, the only thing you can take away from it is this is what 3 years of being in MERA will do to you.
Okay, we'll move on. And
John, I'd like to just say, remember the mantra that drove us: stay the course.
Stay the course.
Justin, Dave, Peter, we stayed the course. In spite of everything, we had our eye on the goal and we stayed the course. And I just challenge you to do the same.
Well, I always love that because my favorite movie, Gladiator, in the opening scene where, you know, they're coming through the back of the woods and Michael Crowe is screaming, you know, hold the line, right? So you just got to keep on pushing this thing and everyone's got to be together. It was a great approach, Michael. It really was. I mean, because everyone had a different view. I can tell you that at the beginning. And everyone got to the same page and kept on plowing ahead. So, you know, well done.
3 words, Michael, that you and I said so many times. And that's what happens when there's great vision and just moving forward. So thanks, Dave. And I'm going to, speaking of moving forward, I'm going to move on. We're in our closing minutes, and I do want to open the floor for others. But I'd like to ask Phil Long, MEMA CEO, to make a few comments. And Bill, you and I talk a lot about what's ahead also, and about moving forward. So please, on behalf of MEMA leadership.
Yeah, thanks, John, very much. It's well, first, happy anniversary. 10 years. It's hard to believe that it's been that long already. But as I listen to the comments from a lot of my friends that are on this call and a lot of my mentors along the way, whether you knew it or not, For me, it's hard to find a group that's more passionate about the business and the industry that they're in. And I'd even go as far as to say, to find a group that's more passionate about the association that they belong to with MERA. You have set, the entire team, everybody on this call, and John, you and your staff have set a remarkable foundation for the future. You know, and as we look at the momentum and the wave that's occurring across the country for sustainable manufacturing and the circular economy, you know, phrases that you helped me personally understand better, even though I had quite a background in the industry and remanufacturing. There's a tremendous opportunity for MERA and remanufacturers in the future. And as you and I have talked about, I think the opportunity to expand the certification program can be a tremendous catalyst in helping our industry and remanufacturers and suppliers in general advance their business interests. So I'll just repeat the comments from my good friend Michael Cardone, and let's stay the course. So happy anniversary and congratulations to all on the work that you have done in this past decade to make MERA really what it is. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Bill, and thanks for your leadership of a great overall organization in MEMA. And with that, I'm going to look at Cheryl for a moment because I know we're going to look to close things. And maybe before people go and before we raise a glass, Cheryl, do we have a chance to show that one last scrolling piece that you have? I think that's the last video. And is there music to it? Because if there's not, I'd like to speak over it as it goes. So, and maybe this wouldn't be a bad time to do it. I'm going to grab my glass, and we'll get the. You could start with there we go. I've had so much fun. The team has had so much fun putting together today's event. And we'd be remiss if we didn't get a chance to say thank you to everyone on this call. And I know that people were spotlighted, but I spent time earlier just looking at every one of you, and I'm so thankful for what you bring to our community and to our association. So if you're out there, we think we have your name, and we just wanted to say thanks. And with that, as the video ends, I'm going to open the mic, and if anyone wants to go to the 5 o'clock hour and maybe a tad beyond, we'll be here. So thanks. Thank you. Cheers to the next 10 years.